10 ought to be good for now. Honestly, you really don't need that much space. I mean, you'll notice, honestly, the main reason you need these piers is because there's nowhere to build on the ground, so you obviously need to build out in the ocean. The nice thing about this is you turn the magnet on, they link together, obviously, quite well. Usually, anyway. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of a discrepancy and it's a little bit difficult to actually build something, but usually not that bad. And they usually link together pretty well. Just like that. I suppose we should make it a little bit wider as well, with whatever we've got left. I don't know how many of these we have left, because I haven't been counting. Ah, we need 2 more. We can make 2 more, I'm sure. Alright, so as you can see now, we have a great big platform to build on, which is actually quite large. It's, what, a 3x3? No, it's a 3x4. Yeah, 3x4. 3x4 platform, not bad to build stuff on, right? Well, it's not bad, but we need iron houses. So, I don't know if we have enough iron for this. How much iron do we actually have? Not very much. We're going to need 4 of these. So we'll need 45 more of scrap metal and 9 of glass. So I think I'm actually going to pause it here. And when we come back, I will continue on with the building. And I'll have already gotten the materials we need to build everything. So, yeah. I think that sounds about right. Yeah, alright, I'll be back. In soon.
Hello everyone, you'll have just noticed a jump cut to a picture of my desktop. So, yeah. So, one thing I'd like to explain real quick is that last clip you just saw is actually the end of the recording session I did last time for Dark Cloud 2. I had planned to come back to it immediately, and then my capture card and Fraps decided they were no longer going to play well together. And yeah, it didn't work out so well. So, why am I here talking to you right now? Well, because I'm kind of busy at the moment, but I have a little tiny bit of time, and not enough time to actually record anything, but I would like to say I got capture card and Fraps working well together again, so Dark Cloud 2 videos will resume. I don't know if you noticed, but I was doing Snapshot and Rochard and other indie games, while I was fixing my capture card issues. But, Dark Cloud 2 will resume very shortly. Very shortly. Probably not, I probably won't be able to record tomorrow because real life stuff happens tomorrow. Monday I should have all day to record as much as I want, so I'll be able to record lots on Monday. So, yes, Dark Cloud 2, or for my friends across the pond, Dark Chronicle, will resume soon, very soon. Until then, enjoy this little video, I guess. This is a little split of what was left over from my recording session. I'm not sure how I didn't catch this little piece there sitting, but it was sitting there in my Fraps folder saying, I need to be uploaded, I need to be uploaded. It was just one little piece of it was just there. It was just needed to be uploaded. So, yeah. So this will go up, probably today. Probably very shortly after I'm done here. Snapshot will keep going. Fallout 3 will probably resume soon because I think we might actually have time to record soon. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. And also, huge, important, massive news to the channel. Massive news. So, one thing I like to do on my channel is I like to have one series going for a large period of time. That series right now is Dark Cloud 2. And you'll notice the indie games are really short and whatnot. There is a game coming out soon called Starbound. Maybe not soon, sometime this year. It will be out sometime this year, supposedly. But the pre-orders for it just went live. There'll be a link to it in the description. I've talked about this a lot in a lot of my videos, so if you frequent my videos, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, Starbound, if you've ever played Terraria, if you haven't, go look up Terraria. It's on Steam. It's like $2, or it's sometimes like $2. When it's on sale, it's like seriously $2, and it goes on sale a lot. And if you've never played it before, there's a lot of content there. Great times to be had. I've played it for like 370 hours. Far too much than I should. But it's great. It's a little side-scrolling RPG. Starbound is very similar to Terraria, and in many ways is the spiritual successor to Terraria, even though there's been rumors of a Terraria 2 from the developers of Terraria. And Starbound is actually, the lead developer of Starbound is actually the artist from Terraria. Although he's not the artist for Starbound anymore. I mean, I think he does work on Starbound's art, as well as coding and whatnot. Because, I mean, they've got a whole team for that, for all of the things now. But pre-orders just went live literally 2 days ago. A lot of people were talking about how Prison Architect broke 100,000 in, like, 72 hours. Starbound is about to break 300,000, and it's only been live for about a day. Maybe a day and a half. Just saying. The community, it's a Kickstarter style crowdfunding thing, but it's not actually on Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is kind of restrictive to a lot of developers. Because like if you don't meet your exact goal before a certain amount of time, you get none of the money on Kickstarter, which is kind of disturbing. And the way the Starbound devs are doing it is the game will be released no matter what. Just the pre-order, because a lot of the developers are working 2 jobs right now, to actually keep food on the table while they're making Starbound. So the pre-orders is a way for them to get money from Starbound so that they can work on Starbound without having to work another job, because having to work another job kind of detracts a lot of time from Starbound development, obviously. But, so yeah, there is that. What else? Is there anything else that needs to be said? I don't think there is, other than Starbound is awesome. Go check it out. Look at the forums. I'm actually quite active on there. If you find me, you'll probably find me in the general discussion area. If you do find me anyway. There's lots to talk about there. Go buy Starbound. Support the development if you like those kinds of games. If you like RPGs, you'd be a fool to not pick up Starbound when it does eventually come out. All of the pre-order tiers, by the way, give you a copy of Starbound on Steam, or I believe not on Steam. I believe they actually are doing it through the Humble Bundle as well, or the Humble guys. So I believe you'll be able to get it on there eventually. I'm not sure, but the soundtrack is on there. Every single tier comes with the soundtrack, which at the moment is 66 songs, I think. I haven't actually listened to it yet because I haven't downloaded it yet, because it's like larger than my internet is able to download easily. So yeah. And then I think the only thing is yeah, also you get beta access. All the tiers give you beta access once the beta goes live, which also will likely be on Steam. Probably via the early access thing on Steam that they're doing. What else needs to be said? Not in relation to Starbound. Oh, in relation to Starbound, and the channel, more accurately, once Starbound does go, beta or otherwise, there will be videos of it on this channel day 1. Simply because I sunk so much time in Terraria and loved every freaking second of it, and am still loving every freaking second of it every time I play Terraria. Okay, there are a few seconds I don't like dying horribly. But anyway, and Starbound promises to be so much more than just Terraria was. So day 1, there will be videos of it on my channel. If you're worried about specs of what it might be, they said it runs well, really well, on a MacBook Air, which, if you don't know, is basically the cheapest laptop in existence, and it's not meant for playing games. If it runs well on that, you'll be good for pretty much anything. Also, it'll be on Windows, Windows, Mac, and Linux when it does finally launch or go beta. I believe also the Ouya as well when that eventually happens. I'm not sure. They said they got a copy of the Ouya, or they were going to get a copy of the Ouya for development purposes, that it might end up on Ouya. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. If you don't know what Ouya is, it's a indie console, which is different. It's something they funded through Kickstarter, which is a brand new console that I guess it's more open source. I don't know that much about it. I'm probably gonna get yelled at for that. But it's interesting to say the least. It's basically an indie-driven console that aims to not have some of the issues of like the Xbox console or the PS3 or the PlayStation console or the whatever the hell Nintendo pumps out next after the Wii U consoles that have a lot of problems with first-party games because they're aiming at indies, and indies can pump out games a lot faster than a lot of first-party people. And that's a simple fact. A lot of indie games are also better than a lot of AAA titles, which is really sad when you think about it. Like hell, if you think about it, Dark Cloud 2 or Dark Chronicle, in theory, well, Level 5 is a AAA title or publisher now. Which, by the way, yes, I found out, they do still exist, they are still around, and I plan on playing more of their games in the future on this channel. If this channel becomes an all Level 5 games channel, then so be it, but it will be played. Rogue Galaxy is a thing that I may play after Dark Cloud 2. After Dark Cloud 2 is done, I really don't know, because Starbound will probably take over as the large video on my videos on my channel then, because the premise of Starbound is basically Star Trek. The beginning is a little bit different. All we really know about the story right now is because, again, the devs have not said much about it, but they have shown us things to make us happy, and they've also released a roadmap of basic things that are going to be in the game. Or a lot of the stuff that's going to be in the game, and they're pretty close to being done. A lot of stuff that's left to do is like server stuff and just polish on everything else. And some stuff is actually polished as well, so it's doing well. Let's see. The premise of Starbound. Basically, all we really know at the moment is your planet gets destroyed, go nuts in the rest of in an entire galaxy that is divided into 4 sectors, I think. Could be a universe that's divided into 4 sectors. It's either galaxy or universe. Not sure which one. It was one of the two. I need to go read that again. I need to go look at that. Basically, it's in space, right? So you go around in the galaxy exploring planets, asteroids, moons, solar systems, black holes, possibly. Not sure about that one. At the moment, there are 6 races to choose from. You can be, names won't mean too much unless you already know what they are. There's the human, the apex, the avian, the florin, the hylothal, and the glitch. I knew I was forgetting someone there. The humans are humans. Imagine that. The apex are monkey people. They are extremely intelligent and extremely advanced. And they are also extremely militaristic. In fact, I believe they are a dictatorship. I'm not sure on that one, though, so don't quote me. What did I say next? Avians. The avian are bird people. All these people are humanoids as well. So, in other words, they have a human-figured shape. So, avians are bird people who have been risen up by another species and into technological advancement. So they're pretty young in theory in relation to, say, humans or apex that, they got to space on their own. The avians got help getting to space. So they're pretty young compared to the apex or avians or humans. I mean, I think the humans made it to space on their own. I'm not sure on that one. Pretty sure. The apex may have been the only ones that made it to space on their own. I'm not sure. The avians are, like I said, basically bird people. Sadly, they cannot fly. They have special armors that allow them to fly. And that's another thing I'll get to in a minute. But then comes the hylothal, who are fish people. as you might imagine, fish people, being fish people, they look much different than everyone else. Strangely, they don't have gills, so they can't breathe underwater, which is another thing I'll get to in a second. They're very samurai-ish, or, feudal Japan style, or in their ethics, I believe. And also, a lot of them have had swords and whatnot in various guest wallpapers that people have made, or various people in the community have made art about the game. Some of it is very good, and I suggest checking it out on the forums. Next up is the glitch, or the Florins. We'll just go with the Florins. The Florins, as you might expect from their name, being a very close similarity to flora, as in flora and fauna of a planet, are plant people. And you would expect Florins, being plant people, to be very peace-loving and environmentalists. They're not. They are carnivorous, and they will eat you. They will eat you. They are not happy about people. They will eat anyone who's not a Florin, and they also eat Florins. They eat each other as well. So they're cannibals, carnivorous, and in relation to other species, I suppose they're technically the youngest species, I suppose, because the only reason they're in space is because people stopped on their planet as tourists, looked, oh look, peaceful plant people got eaten, and they stole their spaceship. That's the only reason the Florins are in space. Which is a slight issue. Yeah. The last race is the glitch. The glitch, they're interesting. Their backstory is they were part of an experiment by some unknown super advanced race, like Forerunner and Halo, precursors in Jak and Dax. That was very strange. My headset just randomly turned off. I'm not sure why, but it did. Strange. Anyway, I was talking about the glitch in them and how they were raised. They're not raised. They were actually created by another race, a super advanced race. Like I said, like again, Forerunners and Halo. Whatever was around at the time, super advanced. And they are actually robots. They were created as part of an experiment to see how civilizations rise and fall. So whoever this other race was, they had a lot of time on their hands and just wanted to screw around with crap. So the glitch were part of this experiment, and they are actually the last ones of that experiment alive, as far as we know. And they're robots, and they were created as, again, to see civilization and whatnot, but that there was a glitch in their programming that when they got to a certain point, they stopped advancing. Socially, they stopped advancing. Technologically, I believe they still kept advancing. But socially, they're stuck. And they're stuck, interestingly enough, in, like, medieval Europe setting. So they're very... In other words, a lot of them are running around with axes and swords and crap like that. And they have an honor system that is very close to... Word escapes me at the moment. Chivalry! That's what it is. Chivalry. It's very interesting. But they're robots, which makes it more interesting. And... yeah, that's all 6 races. There was a announcement for the pre-orders that if they make a certain amount of money before beta, or just, I guess, funding in general, they will add another race. They'll add a new race called the Nova Kid, or Nova Kide. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it because they haven't said anything about it yet, other than they posted 3 pictures about it, which looks like some form of energy beings, because they look like... It's really hard to describe. Imagine you had a shield around your body. So imagine a person, and then make them in the same shape, just make them glowing and made of energy. It looks like that. And from their clothing, it looks like they're based in, say, the Old West style. In other words, gunslingers, like, you got lots of bandoliers and, overall straps and stuff like that. And big dresses for the women and all that. It looks like that, which could be interesting. Especially since some of the other races they're so well done as well. It is a side-scrolling RPG, which means the art style is a little bit weird, or a little bit, we'll say retro, because it's similar to, I won't say similar to Minecraft's art style, simply because it looks so much better than Minecraft. But it's not like, like a AAA title is nowadays. It doesn't have that kind of graphic level, because it simply wouldn't work that way. Because, again, it comes down to exploring planets and all that. But you can also say, I found this tree. I'm going to chop down this tree and make a house out of it. Or use its wood to make a house. Or use this wood to make a chair. Or use this wood to make a bench. Or something like that. It's a Minecraft style, or Terraria style, or Infiniminer, or Towns, or Dwarf Fortress, or whatever game you want to compare it to, where you basically build up your world as well, whichever you want. The only difference in Starbound is you have a universe to do that in, with basically infinite worlds. Basically infinite. And worlds are all randomly generated. Guns are randomly generated, which is very interesting. Weapons in general are randomly generated. Enemies are randomly generated, which means every single planet will have different enemies, which would be interesting. And from what we've seen, they can more than easily pull this off, because they're awesome, these developers. It's being developed by Chucklefish, I should mention, by the way, who I believe they also picked up a couple other indie games as for just publishing. As publishers, they picked up Wanderlust? It's a Wanderlust RPG or something like that. It's an RPG where it's basically you just run around with your friends and beat the crap out of stuff. It's very fun. It's a top-down little game. It's quite fun. They also picked up Stardew Valley, which, if you don't know what Stardew Valley is another game I may play on the channel, simply because it looks interesting. I don't know if anyone remembers Harvest Moon. But basically, in Harvest Moon, you got a farm, and you lived in that farm, and there was a town attached to the farm, and you basically lived a life there. The concept of that is transferred to Stardew Valley, but it's multiplayer, and with a lot more than just what Harvest Moon had in it. So it looks interesting, because a lot of things about Harvest Moon is they were never multiplayer, ever. There was never a single Harvest Moon multiplayer. And so I guess some devs saw that, said, oh, that sounds fun, let's make that game. So they're making that game, and then Chucklefish picked it up and said, we'll publish it for you. Or, we'll help you in it. Or something like that. Not entirely sure in that process. Let's see. What else about Starbound would you need to know? Or would you want to know? Physics are a little bit more making sense. For example, a larger planet will have more gravity than a smaller planet or a moon, which is awesome. That means if you go to a moon, you can expect to be able to jump like 30 feet in the air. Or, depending on if you have a jetpack or not. But, and there are some planets where the gravity may be so intense that you simply cannot move without the aid of something like a jetpack or bionic legs or something like that. Vehicles are also a thing that's going to be in the game. For example, like planes, hover bikes, giant mechs. That's a thing. They haven't really confirmed any vehicle designs or anything like that, other than the starship that you travel around in. But let's just say if the vehicles are anywhere as interesting as the rest of the game, they'll be fascinating, and I will love to stomp. And I imagine you'll be able to stomp around in a giant mech that can rip out sections of the planet at a time, and be like, and probably throw them at people as well. So that's interesting. Unlike a lot of games like Minecraft and Terraria, where explosions just destroy stuff, explosions in Starbound, from what we've seen anyway, actually display stuff as well as destroy them. So some things will get destroyed, because that's what explosions do, is destroy things, but they'll also move things. Like, if you blow up a tree, or like the side of a house, it won't just blow up and make a hole. It'll blow pieces into the house, or blow pieces out of the house, depending on which side the explosive is on. So there's a shockwave effect, you might say. And I'm just randomly tossing crap around, so you might hear crap colliding. Because I'm not doing anything just but talking, so I'm keeping my hands busy with throwing my trackball back and forth. um, because I'm weird. Anyway, so the next part of Starbound is, like I said, you basically have a universe to screw around in. At the center of the universe, well, okay, not at the center of the universe, but at the center of your game, there will be a space station. I guess the idea is you find a derelict space station and you slowly repair it using things you find in your travels and bring it back up to full functionality and whatever you want. And this could include things like auto crafting things like spaceships. I don't know, because we don't know that much about the game as in-depth details. So, yeah, there's lots of images and whatnot out there, though. So if you go to the Starbound forums, which there will be a link to, you can see for yourself the amount of stuff in the forums. You'll have to dig for a little while to find some of it, but some of it is right up on the front page. There's the roadmap, which tons of stuff. There's the pre-order, which, again, tons of stuff. Read that. Lots of fun stuff. There's the forums, which lots of stuff in there. So much stuff in the forums. So take a look in there. And eat, drink, happy, and be merry. Eat, drink, happy, and be merry. Eat, drink, go forth, and be merry. Jeez. Good job, me. I'm just having all kinds of issues today. But, yeah. Anyway, as we move forward, Snapshot's going to be over very soon. So, I would like to, I don't know. There's another indie game that I'm looking at to do another, there's a couple indie games, in fact, that I'm going to do playthroughs of eventually. But, yeah, if anyone like I always say and that landed perfectly in the hole of the trackball. I'm awesome. I'm going to leave it like that. But anyway, you can't actually see that because it's in front of me. But anyway, if there's any games anyone wants to see me play, indie games especially, or something on Steam, please leave a like or not a like, a comment, with the name of it and where I can get it. And maybe a short premise of what's it about. I can look it up myself if you don't, but it would help. And I'll add that to the list of things I would like to do in the future. That actually says that on my channel page, but I don't think I've ever said that in a video. Ever. I don't know if I've ever said that in a video. I don't think I have. So, saying it right now, you can submit ideas if you want, but if you do want, then they will be added to my list of at least things to look at and see if I will do them. And if I like it, if I like what I see, then I'll do it. I'll add it to the list of games I will play. Which there is a list, it's just in my head. And, yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else important before I go? I don't think there is. So I have to go now. I will talk to you, YouTube, later, and you will see Dark Cloud 2 and Dark Chronicle resuming soon, hopefully. Pretty sure it will, because it works just fine, so it will resume soon. And, yeah, enjoy your day, evening, morning, or afternoon, and have a nice night.